Afternoon, guys. Well, it's about noon. Uh, John and I are just finishing up we just finished up our scouting for hunting this year. We'll be hunting up here in 2 weeks. And we spent most of our time this year uh, selecting stand sites, new stand sites, and checking our trails, and some of them had to be cleaned up a little bit. It's been a kind of a job, but we're going home excited. We found a fair number of bucks. Well, some yearlings, there's some porkies, and a couple spikes, and we've got some 2.5-year-old bucks, 5 or 7 pointers in that range, and a couple of nice bucks. I mean, these are clear. One is a dominant breeding buck. He's probably 4.5. He might even be 5.5 years of age, and another one that's a year younger. Two different ones in widely separated areas. We found some antler rubs. We don't see much of that up here anymore because it's been awfully warm. In fact, this weekend is probably be one of the coolest weekends we've had so far this year. But there hasn't been a lot of daytime activity of whitetails. We've got at least, I would say about 8,000 photos to look at from our trail cams. We brought them all in this weekend. That was another job we wanted to do. And we went through some last night, and we'll be going through some after we get home. So it's kind of quiet here. It wasn't quiet last night. We had torrential thunderstorms during the night, starting at about 11 o'clock last night, and boy, it poured for a while, and they were still grumbling out here shortly before sunrise this morning. But we finally got everything done that we wanted to do, and now we're breaking camp and getting ready to go home and start getting ready for the hunting season. So we'll have more to talk about what we found here after we've looked over another probably 4,000 photos from our trail cams. And I'll get back to you about those when we get a chance to look at them. And I think some of them will have some important new things to talk about. Well, with that, thanks for joining us up here. We're about 3 miles from the Canadian border. Canada's just over there. You get on a high hill around here and you can see Canada. That's how close we are. We had snow up here about 10 days ago. Light snow, that was a surprise. But it didn't last long, of course. Right now it's in the 60s. Yesterday it was up at about 70 degrees during the day. I hope we get cooler weather, more normal temperatures by the time the hunting season starts, but I guess we're ready for just about anything that happens. So, well, okay, like I said before, thanks for joining us, and I'll talk to you again soon. Good afternoon, guys. Dr. Ken Nordberg here again. This will be the last time I get to talk to you before I head to deer camp. In a few days from now, our gang will be moving north to put up our little village in the wilderness area that we've been hunting now for 32 years. Looking forward to it. We know it's not going to be easy. We still have our wolves. Our wolves disappeared from a large section of our hunting area for a couple of weeks, but we just got done looking at a couple thousand new photographs from trail cams, and our 5-member wolf pack is back, and they're looking a little bit healthier, and some of our fawns are missing in that area. And so they're still there, and they're still finding things to eat, and, but it isn't all deer, but they're finding maybe mice even, I don't know. But you guys that don't have wolves, you're just lucky. But the rest of you, you don't have the wolf problem. But you know, the way the weather is lining up now, it looks to me like we're going to see some plus 50-degree days coming up during the next 2 weeks during our hunting season up north here, next to the Canadian border. Which means we're going to have days when there aren't going to be any deer moving around during daylight hours, because when we have temperatures like that, our deer are nocturnal, strictly nocturnal. A lot of our recent photography shows that they're nocturnal now, but that's probably mostly because of our wolves. The wolves are hunting day and night. They're hunting day and night, which means they're hungry. They're not getting enough to eat. They're looking a little healthier than they did in the spring in June when they first moved in, but they're there. But for the rest of you guys, you can expect this year that you'll see deer being nocturnal probably more commonly, almost everywhere in America, wherever whitetails live, because of unusually warm weather during November. So that's coming. But November is a crazy month too. There are a lot of things that are going on in November that change whitetail habits and behavior. And one of them, of course, is the first 2 weeks of breeding in the rut. Right now, bucks are busy making antler grounds and ground scrapes, and they're renewing them. And the dominant breeding bucks are chasing lesser antlered bucks out of their breeding ranges right now. And but come the 3rd of November, here in Minnesota and all across northern United States and into Canada, but the 3rd of November breeding will begin. It'll be going on for 2 weeks. Now, during that time, a lot of changes occur. Like up in our northern states, our whitetails will be switching from eating grasses. They're still eating grasses right now and leaves. They'll be switching to eating browse, woody stems of woody plants. And that'll be happening at the end of the first week in November. And that creates one big change in wilderness areas and forest regions. Might not create a change in farm areas. The farm area thing is all dependent on what happens to be out there for whitetails to feed on in the fall. And I know it's here in northern Minnesota, maybe because they're having trouble shipping corn now with barges on the river being held up and all kinds of things happening that are preventing corn and other crops, soybeans being shipped all over the country. A lot of our cornfields haven't been harvested yet, and so, boy, you can bet those cornfields will be just full of deer, which are hard to hunt in corn, as you well know. But at any rate, where we're hunting, we do have a few mature bucks to hunt this year that we've located on our trail cams. We've located quite a few watering spots, which will be important because we're suffering drought conditions again right now, dry all over the state, despite rainstorms that have passed through in the last couple of months. But real serious drought conditions, meaning watering spots, are going to be really important during our deer season. But we learned so much in the last 5 years when all this wolf thing and abnormally warm temperatures started affecting the whitetails in our hunting area. And it's going to be a crazy season. And we have several new hunting methods, large group stand hunting methods that we'll be using this year. If things seem, if we don't do well on one-on-one, we always start our season hunting whitetails, bucks, one-on-one, and we usually get a couple of them that way every year on an opening weekend. So we'll see how that goes. But we don't expect to take more than 2 or maybe 3 bucks this year, and they won't all be big ones. There'll be some middle-aged ones if we do. And we've got about 3 or 4 decent ones that a lot of hunters would put on the wall. A couple of them are very nice looking bucks, 10-pointers, big 8-pointers. So we're looking forward to hunting them. Now, you guys, like I say, you guys that don't have wolves, you're sure lucky. and right now, if there are so many things that can change how things are going to be happening during your hunting seasons, wherever you hunt. But keep this in mind, if you don't have this book yet, just about everything imaginable that can affect your whitetails and where they're going to be and where they're going to feed and what hours are going to be active under almost any circumstances that you can imagine are all detailed in this book, and where you should be hunting them, This year the moonlight effect will be worse than usual. We're going to have moonlight every night of our coming hunting season. How it's going to affect whitetails will be different, and depending on when the moon comes up and sets each day. But so many things can affect what your hunting is going to be like on the following day, or where you should be hunting. And so it's not the kind of hunting season where you can just go out and sit in one stand site and expect to be successful there, especially if you're hunting mature bucks. It's going to be the kind of year where you have to be aware of how all these things that can affect whitetail habits and behavior during your hunting season, you have to be aware of them and hunt accordingly. And sitting in one tree stand with doe and heat lure set around your stand, that was a great way to hunt bucks 30, 40 years ago, but not today. It's not the best way to hunt today. Today, if it's at all possible, you should hunt where bucks are, if you're hunting older bucks, where they're active today, and that's going to change daily while breeding is going on. It's going to change in other ways because of the kinds of foods that are available in your hunting area, when they become available, and the weather. Unusually warm weather or normal weather, all those things are going to affect your hunting this year. And if you're stuck with hunting in one place, it's going to be awfully hard for you to take advantage of where those whitetails are going to be from day to day and what hours they're going to be hunting. So if you don't have this book yet, for heaven's sake, get this book. It costs less than a box of bullets. And so nowadays, you've got to hunt differently than you used to because of all these things that have been happening to our deer. And with wolves and abnormally warm weather bothering our deer, and not in just Minnesota, out in Wyoming, out in Maine, out in New Hampshire, there's a lot of places where they're having the same problems with wolves as they were having here. Northern Wisconsin, lots of places like that. So if you're in one of those places, this is another reason why you need to want to have this book, so you know better what to do from day to day during the hunting season, about where to hunt and how. So with that, I want to wish you all the best of luck. It could be a great season this year. It could be a tough one, however it goes. But deer hunting is such a great pastime. A time to be with your buddies out there hunting in the woods. For us setting up our little village out there in the wilderness, and you know, we're so self-sufficient, we can be out there 2 weeks and don't have to go to town for anything during that time. And it took years to learn how to do it, and you can learn how to do that too in this book. So that's getting to be more and more popular, and I know I personally have had a lot of influence on getting guys to start camping during hunting season, while you're hunting whitetails. And it adds a lot of really great adventure, fun, and there's so many reasons. You know, it's 50% of what we look forward to when we go deer hunting. My gang, there'd be us 12. So with that, again, I wish you all the best of luck. Let me know how you do. You guys that are using some of the techniques that you've learned in my book, let me know how you've done. I'll be anxious to hear about that. And that book I've been talking about, 11th edition, it looks like it's going to be a Christmas book this year. It's been a hard summer. We've had a lot to do, and but it's coming along. We had a little interference, wakey interference. We suddenly ran out of these books. You know, we had a sudden increase in orders for them and ran out. And as quickly as we could, we called our printing company to get new books printed. And we got our shipment today on a Sunday. On a Sunday afternoon, they were delivered. So I'm way behind on orders. They'll be going out tomorrow morning. When I get, but before I go to bed tonight, everybody that's ordered a book, your book will be in the mail first thing in the morning tomorrow, and you'll get it within 2 to 3 days probably. And so look forward to that. Well, with that, again, thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you in the woods. We're going to do a lot of photography in the woods during our hunting season, and I'll talk to you up there and tell you all about what's going on and what we've been doing. And so we'll see you then. But until then, have the best hunting season you ever had, and hopefully, and get a big one this year. Yeah, learn how to do it. Get a big one this year. Get one on the wall. It's always so nice. John's got several around here. I'm sitting here looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 deer within sight of where I am right now, and upstairs as well. And it's always so nice to see those big bucks and the memories of taking them and all we went through to get them to camp and all kinds of things. Doing things successfully the way we've been doing so many years. And it's been fun. Well, I could go on and on, you know that. So with that, again, good luck guys, and we'll talk to you again soon. Be sure to visit my website. Here's the link. Here you'll find links to my blog posts, my Twitter account, my YouTube account, my Amazon store with links to my ebooks, my son's eBay store, a money saver if you're ordering from Canada or other countries, my website bookstore, and much more.